Hey guys, I know the last two videos were pretty rough. I've had some serious stuff going on, busy wise, work wise, and life wise. So I tried to just shoot some quick videos and put them up literally raw, from the cell phone to the internet, and no narration or anything. I got a couple of people that commented that they didn't understand what it was, but here's where we're at. These guys were born the 16th of November, or spawned the 16th of November. This is the stage they're at right now. And would you quit? I got my latest little buddy on my shoulder here. This is Smokey. Unfortunately, for anybody who's followed the channel, my other bird, Indy, passed away. And Smokey is just, well, he's equivalent of about a 4-year-old child right now. And he's just sitting up there, happy to be here, pooping all over me. Anyway, back to the fish. This is the first spawn of the Philippine Blues. I got them from a breeder in Charleston on I think it was the 14th of February 2016. So they're, given that they were already at least a couple month or so old when I got them, I would say that they are about 2 years now. They never did anything for me for 2 years, and I got them over here to the new place and put them in the 55, and they went hog wild. So as you can see, you see the first batch that were spawned on the 16th of November. I'm getting ready, well, in a day or so, probably tomorrow, I'll move them over into their own tank. You see the baby brine shrimp going on there. And as we see all the poor koi angels, and for those of you who followed me back in the day, these are the remainders of the kois that I had from that first breeding pair of angels. And we come over here, here's the two two Philippine Blues, and you see what they're doing. They are brooding over another set of eggs. They just spawned again the other day. So, and that's what they look like for those of you who aren't sure. There was a question about what's the difference between German blues and Philippine blues. Philippine blues tend to have more of the black bars in them, and the German blues are more of a just a solid body blue. You don't see as much, the black bars aren't as prominent. It's to taste. As you can see, that one towards the back slate there, if you see the little streamers coming off, see a lot of blue in there. But these guys are about 2 years old, and they are very, very good parents. On that first spawn, I took half the eggs that you just saw in the bottle there. That's only half of them. And left the other half for the parents. And they fought very valiantly to try to keep those little babies alive. Unfortunately, with the other fish in here, since it's a community tank, they were eventually eradicated. They were Thanksgiving dinner for the other fish, basically. So, at any rate, I will be removing all of these eggs. I'm going to let the parents take care of them till they get to a wiggler state. Now, I don't know how much this camera is going to be able to pick up in detail, but right above the slate there, and there's a few eggs on the top of the slate, near the top of the slate, but most of them are grouped right up above it. I don't know if you'll be able to make that out of the video, but That's where they're at. So I'm going to be removing them as soon as they hit a good solid wiggler state in a day or two. Which means you come back over here. I've got 2 bottles of brine shrimp. As a matter of fact, I need to add the brine shrimp to this one now. Get it started again. Here are the existing babies, which will also be being moved into their own 10-gallon to grow out. And I just the other day went down to my warehouse, or my little storage building, with the other half of my belongings in it that I didn't want to bring into the apartment. And I picked up this other breeder bottle. So everything is up and running and ready to go and on schedule. A lot of work involved in this, but you know, hey, I'm hoping to get, you know, a decent, you know, maybe bring these guys up to selling size and get a decent cost out of them. I got to do my homework and see what Philippine Blues are going for right now, but as you can see, there's quite a few of them in this little breeder jar. So I'm real happy about that. This is the whole setup if you zoom out a little bit. I do like the fact that since I'm in my own apartment and I have no roommates or significant others, I can do and set up things the way I want to do them. I'm sure if I had a female significant other that they would not be happy about having a breeder set up on the island in the kitchen. But the great thing about it is I got my little water change hose right there, and the sink is right over there. So I can just drape it across, do my water changes on a regular basis. I have access from all 3 sides, so I can monitor them a lot better. And I mean, just all in all, I think this is a fantastic setup. One of these days when I grow up and have my own house or whatever, I'm definitely going to set up a fish room where I can do this kind of layout, because this is just so much easier to deal with the babies. And actually having the brine shrimp in the same tank with and everything, I can keep everything at around 80 degrees, 78 to 80 degrees or whatever. And, you know, I mean, it's all in one little setup, which works out great. Figure since I've been a little lapse in the videos, and I do have a few extra minutes here. There's the materials. I got a little more and pestle, which I grind up some of the regular dry food and mix it in with the baby brine shrimp. And that's all done through a syringe, which I'll show you in a second here. The 3 black containers there are baking soda, potassium sulfate, which is basically Epsom salts, and regular sea salt or whatever, which is what I use to mix for the baby brine shrimp to grow them up. The rest of my setup is when I go to draw the baby brine shrimp, I use this guy. Just go down in the tube, suck them up with a turkey baster. I spray them in here. This is a permanent coffee filter. If you want to do this, I shot this in an earlier video, but I'm going to rehash this. If you want to do it this method, it works fantastic, but make sure you get the one that's got a really, really fine filter on it. The first one I bought was, the holes were a little bit bigger, and I lost probably about 1/3 of them down in the cup when I would go to strain them out. This one has a real fine filter, and it's worked great for me. But I put them in here. I draw a little water out of the tank with the turkey baster, rinse them off real good. If I'm not happy with that, you can always run a little water from the sink over them too. Don't worry about it. They're getting fed to the fish, so they'll survive that. And then I take and fill this guy up, and with the baby brine rinsed, I tip it like this and use the water out of the thing just to wash them out into this little dish right there. From there, I use one of these guys, which is a, usually that's together. This is a meat injector or whatever, tenderizer injector or whatever. I got it right at Thanksgiving, and this one's really good. I like this. They have the little plastic cheapo ones that last a little while, but they don't last very long. This one's really been good. And you know, usually this part is inside. You can picture that. It's wet right now because I just used it recently. And I draw them up into that syringe, And then over here, if you look down there, you can see the needle sticking out right next to this. There's where the needle screws on the end of the syringe, and the syringe comes out the bottom of this stopper, this styrofoam stopper, and I just spritz in a little bit of the baby brine shrimp, and they go to town on it, and then I spritz a little bit more in, and they go to town on it, and that's how you feed them. But they're all self-contained in this little container here where nothing can get to them. It also acts as a filter because the water is drawn down through the top, down through the chamber that the fish are in, down through that bottom stopper, down to the bottom, and you can see where a lot of the muck is collecting down there. And then there's a bubbler on that tube, that central tube, which brings the water back up and back into the tank. So you got virtually 10 gallons plus, well, 10 gallons with a jar or whatever like that of water circulation. I do at least an every other day. I try to get it every day, where I do like about a 90% water change, which is easy because even when you drop the outside water in there, the inside water in the breeding vessel stays the same. So they're fine in there while you draw the water down, and then you just add the water back in, and you just want to make sure you keep it at approximately the same temperature. So that's my breeding setup, guys. And now I thought I'd walk you down through here and show you what's the other half of the fish are doing. Sorry, the light's off. This is all the German blue rams in this 20 tall right here. This tank will be being put into my master bedroom as soon as I can find a stand that'll hold it. I don't want to. I've been looking online, and I just don't want to drop $80 on a cast iron or some piece of furniture. I'm gonna wait until after the first of the year and hit up Goodwill and see what somebody else's trash can become my treasure. Buy it for $5 or whatever. I just can't bring myself, with all the money I got to put out for the holidays and everything, to go out and spend another $80 on something that it's just not worth it to me. But yeah, that's all the German blue rams in there. This is, this was the natural tank, the natural growth tank, and actually after I evacuated everything out of there, I noticed that there's still some cherry shrimp, red cherry shrimp in there. So I am in the process of trying to bring them back and breed them back up, because I thought I'd lost them all. But, yeah, there's one right there. I don't know if it'll pick it up on video, but there's one right there. And there's another one down there on that muck. But yeah, she's holding too. That's good. That's a good sign. Okay, so hopefully I'll be able to get some red cherry shrimp going again. This is the new fridge setup, so I can keep all my foods. It's got a little freezer part in the top, so if I got frozen, I can keep them in the top. Everything working out real good. As I tool up more throughout this next year, I'm sure this is going to be used very, very much. Over here, it's the 20 long, and right now it has the Apistogramma rupinunis. I believe that's how you pronounce it, rupinunis. I would very much like to try to get these guys to breed. Just haven't had the time to really give them a good setup. These two tanks right now, if you watch an earlier video of mine, I said, I got to go through a whole process of they're just plants kind of stuffed in there that are growing off of lava rocks and everything. This is the 40 breeder, and I'm going to be working on that. There's a Apistogramma rupinini. Somehow or another, he's still up here. And there's an orange flash, Cockatoides. He needs to be moved down. Actually, either he or she is fat or might be holding eggs. Oh, yeah, there's another one. Oh, there's two of them up here. Okay. See these little with a spot on the side? Those are the rupinunis. And there's some orange flash, and there's somewhere in there is still a triple red. Somewhere hiding around up in this tank. That is the original. I don't know if it's the mother or the father that put out all the koi angels. Those that we just looked at a little while ago. I did have him or her in with the other angels, but he or she was very, very, very extremely aggressive and was picking fights with everything. So I finally had to separate him out, and I put him in here with these fish. Haven't seen any real major problems so far, so looking good. Still have some very fat Otocinclus in there. And oh, I didn't know he was in there. I got a long finned pleco in there. I think it's a Brussels nose. I believe it's a female Brussels nose. I got him from a guy that that's in my fish club. So wow, okay, that's interesting. I got another one in the 55. I might join the two of them up. Who knows? He lost his breeding stock. Oh, there's a triple red cockatoides hiding in through there. But anyway, this tank will be next up on the aquascaping. Obviously, I'm going to stick with the lava rock theme. It's going to be mostly simple plants. I got some crypts in there and a bunch of anubias, and there's some plants that I can't even identify, which is just I would say it's some sort of Java fern, a thin leaf Java fern probably. And down here I got a bunch of regular Java fern and some other various plants. A lot of work to do, so there's going to be a lot of videos coming. Just got the holidays now, so just seems like, when every time I want to grab a camera, I got something else coming up. So, but I'm doing my best, guys. I really am. A lot of Java moss. So I have resources to some of this stuff, and I'm going to make do with what I got. I got my little shelving unit over here, all my fish supplies, and actually that's guitar supplies and stuff. Yes, I'm still playing the guitar. Not much. I'd love to be playing it a lot more, but and there is a Finex. Oh yeah, this model is a 300 watt Finex with the built-in thermostat. It worked really well for a couple of years, and now it still works, but the thermostat part of it really is not working effectively. When you put it in there and set it at like 82, it'll get up to about 72, and then it shuts off. And so for some reason or other, the thermostat is pretty well screwed on it. And I probably am going to it's got a couple of screws on the back there. I'm probably going to open it up and just bypass the thermostat part and run it straight as a heater, and I could use it off of a controller. So that's where we're sitting right now. Going back in here, I really didn't want you to see the horrid state the 55 is in. I know I need to get more plants in here. That brown algae is just bleh. Yeah, I mean, and I'm dealing with it. I'm pulling it out as quick as it grows, but I can only do what I can do, and with the fish spawning all the time, I can't get in there to really do anything because the parents viciously attack my arm, and I'm talking vicious. I mean, these guys are really good parents. I would say that they're probably maybe second, third, fourth, generation out of the wild, because they are very avid. Well, you see them, look at them. The closer I get with the camera, they'll come over here and challenge it. They don't want anything near their spawn. They're very good parents. Unfortunately, the tank has to suffer in the meantime. But we'll get this thing wrapped up. Once again, the holidays. Got the tree up right next to it. And I definitely, I want to get in there and I want to really go to town on it, clean it up again, and get a bunch of plants and plant heavily. Yeah, by the way, tip from the host: if you want to go do a planted tank, get all your plants ahead of time and put them all in when you do the initial setup. Don't try to piecemeal it like I just did here with just a few plants that I had, because this is one of the downfalls you're going to end up with. You're going to end up with a lot of algae and stuff. I mean, I got those super duper lights running on it, and there's just not enough plant stuff in there to take care of the fish load and the fertilizer and everything like that. I also need to get the CO2 going on it too, which is another project. And once again, it's just one thing after another after another. I got so much that I'm working on. I did manage to get the controller, which is right there hanging. Turn the light on. Let's see if that light works. There it is. There is the Apex Junior controller. I got it up and running again. It was like completely shot when I got it over here. I don't know what happened to it, but I thought I was getting ready to throw it out and order another one, but I spent like a whole day on it and was able to get a utility program from somebody on one of the bulletin boards. I think it was probably somebody that worked at Neptune, Apex, or whatever like that, because it wasn't one that you could readily get, and was able to get into the core programming on it and make a few changes and do a hard reset on. Unfortunately, the juniors, you can't do a reset unless you had that program or something like it. So I was able to do a full reset on it and put it back to factory specs. And once I got that, I was able to finally update it after many tries, get the latest firmware on it, and she's working good now. She's controlling the lights, the heater, and the pump. And I hope to get an expansion. If anybody's got what is it, EX or EC or whatever, 800 I think it is or whatever, which is the 8 or the 6 outlet expansion module or whatever for the original Apex units. You got it for a good deal. Please let me know. Hit me up. Send me a message. Paul's Planted Aquariums with an S at Gmail. Whatever. Oh, there's the other long-finned placa. Bristlenose, I believe. And I think that's a male, and I think I got a female in the other tank. Maybe I need to get these two together. Boy, that wouldn't make my buddy happy if I could get his breeding stock back up. He had a crash on his tank and lost them all. So, oh man, would he be happy. So there's another possibility. Yay, yay. And if you got any other plants, you got some trimmings or whatever like that you want to contribute, I will most gladly take those off your hands. And I'll pay the shipping and everything. Just hit me up and let me know. I do want to try to stay with a Amazon biotope type style. I mean, there's going to be, obviously, I still have some African, the red lotus, those are not from the Amazon, but I had to stick something in there with some color. But I would like to stick with the Amazon biotope type plants. So if you got any, hey man, hit me up. Believe me, I'll work with you. Maybe there's something I can help you out with down the road or whatever like that, and just back and forth on it kind of thing. Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. So I think that's about all I got. Right now I got to get back to work. I got to jump in there and grab a shower, and I got to put my little bird up because he's sufficiently probably crapped all over the back of my shirt. And get a shower and get over, and I got to set up a couple of email accounts for a very computer illiterate person. And I also have some running around I got to do. So I will leave you with this. And man, I hope these things, I hope I am able to save all of them and bring them to adulthood. Oh, and anybody in the southeastern area, January 27th at the it's Carolina Aquatics Trade Show.org, I believe, is the URL. We're having our big show at the end of January again. So if you're in the southeast area, or you can get into this area at the end of January, definitely I recommend you come check it out. And I'm hoping these guys will be old enough, and I'll have a whole tank full of these for sale. So anybody who might be interested in some Philippine Blues, you'll be able to get first dibs at them there, because I'm not going to be selling them online until after the show, if they are raised up enough. I have to see how things go. These aren't growing as fast as those kois were. I was just looking at a video from the kois, and the kois were a lot more advanced at this state than these guys are. So we'll just have to see what happens there. And one last shot of the kois. And you see, there's Daddy right there. See, he's saying you got to stay over in this corner. He didn't want any of them out taking his eggs, or getting to those eggs. And there's Mama over there watching. She's going to go up and fan them. Okay, that's all I got. hope this will suffice for a little bit, and I'll try to do my best to keep you up with what's going on. And that's it. Thanks for tuning in. See you soon.